Walt Disney films. Now, as I say that, I'm not saying that all Walt Disney films are wrong. They do have some good family films, some that are worthy of watching and watching over and over again. Even the films that involve fairy tales, of course, we know their source and origin, but they are presented as fairy tales. Cinderella, Snow White, on and on. Things like the Aristocats and so forth, where they animate animals and have a funny, Keystone Cops type deal. Nothing wrong with that. It's good entertainment. It's fine for our kids to watch. But when you enter into films like Beauty and the Beast, Pocahontas, and The Lion King, it places the whole thing in a new ball of wax. It's a new ball game. And the ball of wax is simply this. These are presented as, especially the latter two that I mentioned, as things that are real, as things that we need to implement in our lives. It's more than just a principle for living. They are talking about things in which to believe. Now some, and I've already said this because I have had some in the past week to say, well, it's just a cartoon. My little ones do not see that. They just see a cute little, lion cub, and that's all. And I say, yes, that's true. It is couched in a story form that is hilarious. Because I wanted to sort of bone up on the message and that, I went out and I rented it and I watched it and laughed my silly head off. It's hilarious. It is a great film. But what you don't understand is there is an underlying message that is being taught to our children that is absolutely from the source of the devil himself. And I'll prove it to you because a lot of folks do not understand what I'm talking about and so forth. Just like we did with Billy Graham last week, right from, as they say, the horse's mouth. He'll tell you exactly what he believes. Their mouth is going to approve what they believe, and is it in accordance with the Word of God or not? And of course, we believe that generally speaking, the three films that I've named are not in accordance with the Word of God. Beauty and the Beast teaches bestiality or human-animal relationships. You want to know why the universal flood came? Why was Noah's Ark built? The very thing that's talked about in Beauty and the Beast. Women, human women and human men having sexual relations with animals. And there being conception there. That's why God had to kill not just the Nephilim, but the Rephaim, which were the, quote, stitched together ones, genetically stitched together of Nephilim, humans, and animals. When you come to things like Pocahontas and The Lion King, you're talking about belief systems that have to do after the Nephilim were destroyed. That is, because the Rephaim especially were part animal, where do animals live? But the trees and in the forest and so forth. And that is why we don't want anything to happen to nature today. Now, when we come to Pocahontas, Pocahontas was a nature worshiper. She didn't worship the God of the Bible. She didn't pay due homage to Jesus Christ and bow down and call him Lord. She calls everything God because Native Americans are pantheists, and that's what they believe. All is God, God is all, you've got to respect it all. And that's the very same thing when you come to the Lion King. When you come to the Lion King, you will see, and well, again, I will prove it to you. You will see that what it's talking about is Hinduism and Buddhism. The circle of life and the wheel of life, which basically was not created by God. It came as a result of sin. And now, I know that many of you that have studied with me for the longest time may not have realized this. But you know that animals only started eating meat, and men only started eating meat, and will only eat it after the flood. From the point of after the flood to the point of the start of the millennial kingdom. That's the only point in human history when animals and men will eat meat. Not going to eat it after that. Better get your fill of prime rib right now, because it's not going to be what we're going to eat in the future. Animals and men and angels were not carnivorous until the point of the flood. They were carnivorous afterwards to the point of the millennial kingdom. So that is a Bible-oriented worldview, historic view. Now, the problem with this, of course, is that in both the Pocahontas and the Lion King, we're talking about diversity, the acceptance of all views, pluralism. It's where we are today. I'm okay, you're okay. You can believe what you want, I can. But the thing is, I can't believe what I want because I don't believe that that's right. Now, you can believe anything else that you want, but if a person says, no, wait, God says in His Word, this is the way to go, people do not allow you that view. So we're going to just play these things, and for those that studied with us on Wednesday night, I'm going to ask you, what is wrong with certain things that have happened or that transpire? If you would, Tom, would you please turn off the middle lights here? Listen to the words. No, an American legend to life.
The earth is just a dead thing you can blame. And I know every rock and tree and creature has a life, has a spirit, has a name.
Okay, tell me what's wrong with that. With darkest Africa, the Indian reservations, to South America, to rescue people from what? The witch doctors and medicine men who believed that there were spirits in rocks. We would send missionaries there, and now, we mentioned the Southern Baptists want to close down visiting. I'll bet you every one of those homes has one of these in there, and their kids and their grandkids and their nephews and their nieces all listen to Pocahontas say, rocks, trees, and creatures have a name, have a life, and have a spirit within. That is animism, that is spiritism, and it is condemned by the Bible. And by the way, what else did Pocahontas condemn right from the start? Yeah, but it's capitalism. You land, you conquer, you own, and it's nothing. But of course, it is a strike against capitalism, free enterprise. Now, I'm not saying that everything that these men did in coming and taking that land is correct, because probably it was not. But the film is trying to strike at the heart of our belief system. Okay?
People love people, and people who look and think like you. But if you walk the footsteps of a stranger, you learn things you never knew.
Okay? What's wrong there? Who was the people? The bear. Is the bear a people? Oh. People can't be bears. Okay? What's wrong there? Well, yes, but the message. Okay, well, no. Paint with all the colors of the wind. She mentioned several times in this song about skin color. Now, again, in the United States of America, of course, we want freedom. However, When you go back to Shem, Ham, and Japheth, skin color and genetics become an issue. There is a superior race. Wow, Pastor, you're a white man. You're just, partial. You're radical. Wow. I didn't say it was my race. I said it's the Jewish race. It is from Shem. And this diversity and pluralism, if the sons of Ham don't come into the tents of Shem, they are doubly cursed. How would somebody with a different colored skin enter into the double blessings of Shem? Believe on the Lord Jesus Christ, and thou shalt be saved. It is not being an environmentalist. It is not being a Muslim. It is not being a Buddhist. It is having Ham and Japheth enter the tents of Shem. And but this film is teaching multiculturalism. Whose culture is taking over today in America? Ham's culture. I mean, you just have to take a look at it. We're slowly but surely assuming the culture of Ham. By the way, where is the film The Lion King set culturally? Africa, which is the continent of Ham. All right. What the hell Notice the spirits coming out of the river. Spirits of animals.
Taste the sweet berries of the earth. Come rolling all the riches all around you.
Now, what is wrong with that? If I rolled with a force like that, I'd be in the hospital for a week. Okay, that's beside the point.
Someone knows their word. Bring the storm and the river on my brothers. Everything is yours on my friend. And we are connected to each other. In a circle, in a room that never ends.
Did you hear it? We are all connected to each other. All life forms are one. That is pantheism. And of course, then she said, we're all interconnected in what? In a circle, in a hoop that never what? Ends. That is reincarnation. That is what they teach. These films are training aids. Now, again, people who are not in the know will say, well, it's just a cartoon. My kids didn't think of that. That's true. I didn't get that out of that. But the problem is, they're not going to give a college course and this little film to little kiddos on what the metaphysics are and, reincarnation. They are beginning to teach them basic vocabulary. It's a circle of life. What is a circle of life? Didn't Pocahontas say? Didn't Pocahontas say that everything has life? That's rock here, that's has a spirit, a name that's actually in there? And that's what they are. They are training aid films to start little kids off on a new world order and a one world religion called New Age. That's exactly what it is. That has its roots in Hinduism, Buddhism, Eastern mysticism, demonism, the occult, and the like. Okay. What's wrong there? Good here? Okay. How high does a sycamore grow? If you cut it down, then you'll never know. Tree hug. Okay? That's fine. Let's not cut down any more trees. But then again, aren't we being a little hypocritical if we use wood to build our homes? Well, what do they want us to do? They want us to go back and be like the primitive people so that man doesn't hurt the earth anymore. In their view, man is the one hurting the earth because we cut the trees down. Well, that's fine. That's how I had an argument in this Hartley's house with one who he got all upset when I talked about in the tribulation period, God's going to kill off a whole lot of animals and destroy a whole lot. And she got mad. She goes to a church where, again, it's existentialism, New Age business. Oh, we've got it. And she absolutely took me on. Man, wow, wow, wow. And I said, fine. What kind of car do you drive? Oh, well, You live in a house where you cut trees down? Oh, well. And I said, isn't it hypocritical that you condemn me for this when you yourself live in a house with wood and drive a car that hurts the environment? Don't drive it. Preach a message to me. Quit driving your car. Walk to your church 10 miles every Sunday and then walk back home. Go ahead. God, it upsets me. All right, here we go. Okay, whether we're what? White or copper skin, and here's where you get the you have to paint with all the colors of the wind. Any race is okay. That is not true. And the implication being that anybody's skin color that has concocted any type of religion is fine. You've got to be totally pluralistic, diverse, accept anything that comes from anyone rather than from God down, and all races obey him. We concoct it. Now, we're going to get to the Lion King here in just a little bit. Sure. If you contact spirits, which in the film, Pocahontas talks to the spirits in the trees, in the animals, and so forth. What is that called in the Bible? Well, necromancy is speaking with the dead, but that's part of it, yes. But it's a consulter with familiar spirits. And there are two names. If you're a male, that's a wizard. If you're a female, that's a witch. That's what it is. And thou shalt not suffer a witch to do what? Live. If you're under the dispensation of law. Okay. All right, now, we're going to play the opening song to the Lion King. That was not my son. I hope the neighbors saw that. Did you find anything wrong with that? Did the very opening theme song let us know what this movie is all about? Okay? Listen to the word. This is, of course, and the reason that I'm making an issue of it is that people don't understand what deception is. Deception is that you buy something that is wrong, you buy into something that is wrong, and you feel good about it. Hey, I just entertained my kid. The whole world is doing it, and so forth, but listen to the words. From the day we arrived on the planet and blinkingly stepped into the sun, there's more to see that can ever be seen or to do that can ever be done. Now, again, you will come to understand this is to be done in one lifetime. You have to understand reincarnation and the law of karma. The law of karma says, all right, you did good in a past life. You're going to be reborn, and the next body you get is higher on the food chain or the caste system. Throughout this whole movie, the young Lion King is asked, who are you? Remember where you came from. Remember, I'm your father. Remember who you are. Now, what happened to the Lion King's dad when he died? He went to join the great kings in the sky who will come back to watch over us and guide us. That is their teaching of ascended masters. And when he got in trouble, he looked to the sky, and his dad came back, visited him, and told him what to do. And what did he tell him? Remember who fathered you. I went to heaven. I was the next chain up. I found my place in the circle of life. And when I died, I went into the sky. I broke the chain of the circle of life. And that's what you're to do. And of course, karma says when you're at a certain place, you can either be irresponsible and go back a step, come back, if you're a lion, you can come back as a toad, or you can be responsible. Moral responsibility is respect for all of life on the planet, being good to one another, and breaking the chain of life. All right, now. So you need multiple lifetimes to learn enough and to earn enough good karma to do this. The fact that he was born into the highest caste of the lion or the animal kingdom indicates that his next rung was what? Up or back, depending on his karma. All right. There's far too much to take in here to find that can ever be found. But the sun rolling high in the sapphire sky, now listen, keeps great and small on the endless round. What is that? Reincarnation, the circle of life. And that's what he goes on to say. The circle of life, it moves us all through each veil and pall. Now, this is a kid's film. I imagine, anyway, and there's the kids, Mommy, what's a veil and pall? There are mommies who know that here. Could you have given an answer? The fact is, he's sort of, as he's singing. That's the whole thing with music like this. The music is louder and you don't hear the words. They're not clear. But eventually, if played enough, if subject to them enough, it's just like with rock and roll music. Is there one here that can ever forget the song Born to Be Wild? Why? Because every other phrase is what? Born to be wild, born to be wild, born to be wild. And pretty soon I was believing that. I was born to be wild. All right. It's called repetition inculcation. The circle of life, and it moves us all through each veil and pall. What is each veil? The veil is your outer covering of flesh to the Hindu, to the reincarnationist. Each veil is each life form you assume on your trip upward. Paul is the list that you take. It is an enumeration of the life form that you must assume each veil of. That's what he's talking about. Right in the opening credits of a kid's film? Yeah, right. through faith and love. Now here it is. Here it tells us again. Now be quick. For goodness sakes. I've done quite a whole lot here, but I think it's important. Till we find our place on the path unwinding. Now, whether you're a Hindu, whether you're a Buddhist, whether you're a Taoist, whatever, they all call it the path. What is the path? Well, Buddha had it the middle path, where you are not too ascetic, not too self-indulgent. You find the middle path. And Buddha, during his early lifetime, while he was yet alive, reached nirvana. Now, what is that? Nirvana is the breaking away of the circle of life. What is the Hindu salvation? What are they talking about here? Till we find our place on the path unwinding. Here's a circle, and all of a sudden now we've got a straight path. It's when we break free of the circle of life, having gotten accrued enough good karma to become one with Brahma God. And that's what they believe. And that's why he's singing here. Well, that's what we're doing. We keep going round and round until we finally figure out what life is. I found my place in the circle of life. I've been born and born and born and born. Now as the highest birth, I'm highest in the caste system. What's my next move? I can either be irresponsible and go back and start it all over again, or remember who I am. To the birth I was born, I go up in my next death and become one with God. And then he continues to say, in the circle of life. Okay, give me just a few more minutes and we're done. Just a couple of things that I don't have the capability to do it here, but you can do it. When the lion, I believe his name is Simba, began recognizing who he was. There's an interesting thing that Disney got in trouble over, and a couple of frames of film that they altered slightly when they redid this. But he leaves his little warthog friend and his little whatever it was, I forget what kind of animal, it was just a little thing. Both of them were just absolutely cute. And they were laughing at him over saying that they were great kings who lived in the sky. And so he went and he just looked in the sky and he flopped down on a cliff. And when he flopped down on a cliff, dust came up. And if you will take it frame by frame, they had to alter it a bit from their original production. Well, you take it frame by frame, the words come out subliminally. Now, mind you, and especially on a big screen, it comes out S-E-X, sex. You can go film by and you can see the words. Now, again, the tape version is modified from the original version. Why is that? Because they're ancestor worshipers as well. He's wanting to connect with his father. And how do you enter into this wheel of life? You are born into another body. How are bodies born? Do we have to have a lesson on the birds and the bees? Sex. And it's just then that his lioness friend comes back into the picture. And they talk about everything living in peace and harmony as a key. Peace and harmony. It is just then that he meets this baboon who teaches him to forget your past, press on to the future, learn your lessons, and move on. And he's in a lotus position, which is a form of yoga, which is their main position for contacting God, for meditation, for chanting. And Simba says to this baboon, you don't know my father. And he says, correction, I know your father. He contacts the dead. And here he is in a lotus position. I know your father. And in the course of this discussion with this baboon who is in the lotus position, which is indicative of the whole film, or, people, in my opinion, who follow this kind of, reincarnation. I'm talking to the dead right now. I know your father. In the course of this, Simba has this vision of an ascended master, his own dad, ancestor worship, who tells him, remember, I'm your father. Remember, this is the level into which you were born. That means if you're irresponsible, you go back. If you're responsible, you go up, breaking the circle of life, which his father did. Okay, any comments or questions? Just with our time is up. Yes, ma'am.
You know, I remember back in about 1986, when we tried to pull in through the school textbooks, and a lot of people were wise enough, at least, not to buy in to those and present them. But actually, what they've done is when more kids, at least in a vocabulary sense, through this kind of enterprise than they ever would have gotten to.
Absolutely.
Because that is what my readers school was anyway.
Absolutely.
This is entertainment, the creatures are pretty, the music is gorgeous, and everything is wonderful.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what happened. They confronted society with their beliefs and were rejected pretty much. They went underground and became deceptive, and these films are deceptive training aids starting with young children. They realize our generation's done. I mean, there's nobody going to change me. Jesus Christ is my Lord and my God. He is the controller of history. He's the creator of history. There is no such thing as the circle of life. There isn't. And in the next service, we will show you that. There's no such thing. They did this so that they can reach the younger generation, but by the time they're adults, they will have tree-hugging, rock-worshiping, nature-worshiping people, and that's exactly where they're headed. Yes, ma'am. Exactly. Everything is interrelated, and so therefore we have to respect it. And of course, there are some good principles. I mean, this baboon, in teaching a lesson about the past, hit Simba on the head with his cane. And Simba says, "Ow, why'd you do that?" He said, "Who cares? It's in the past." He was teaching the lesson that the past hurts, but you learn from the past. Now, that is a good principle, of course. But in there, you learn from your bad karma to do good karma. That's what they're teaching.